Shane Gillis, live on stage.
I'm a bit of a history buff, which, by the way, that is early onset Republican.
His biggest tour ever is coming to Des Moines.
If you're a white dude in your 20s and 30s and you're like, I can't stop reading about World War II, it's coming, bro. Right?
See Shane Gillis with his unmistakable comedic style. Live at Wells Fargo Arena Saturday, May 31st. Get tickets now at iowaeventcenter.com. For more, visit ShaneMGillis.com.
Welcome to Overthinking with Mackenzie and Scott. I'm Mackenzie Edie, that handsome guy right there. That's Scott Sipker. And where's our angel on earth, our fill-in producer for the day, Aiden? Where's he at? There he is. Hi, guys. Today we're going to be catching up on everything you might have missed over the weekend, including the Texas man arrested for stalking Caitlyn Clark, the upcoming TikTok ban, get ready for it, and Zuckerberg's frat boy glow-up, and so much more. How was your weekend, Scott?
Well, the Buffalo Bills won. So
are
that
you a
was
Bills
really
Nation
good.
guy? Or whatever
Bills
they're called?
Mafia.
There we go.
Bills
there
Mafia.
we go.
Yeah, and
Circling
I took
the wagon.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And my flag is blowing right out here. It was a great game, and we have a Bills backers group here in Des Moines. We meet at the Corner Tap. And I brought my girlfriend Rachel for the first time. So she was hanging out with 100 Bills fans, okay? And doing all the chants and everything.
That's why she had that cute outfit on.
And I have to say, Rachel's favorite part of the whole deal was putting together her outfit.
She looked so cute. And in fact, I sent her a direct message. So hopefully her little, or your dream from last week doesn't come true. Because I said, you are looking so cute right now. You are looking so cute. Good.
You're torturing me with this. I'm afraid, really, Rachel finds you to be very attractive, both mentally and physically.
Well,
and I'm afraid she's going to leave me for you.
I'm afraid you're wrong.
She left. I didn't know where she went. It was like the second quarter or something, and she had come back, and then I noticed she was on her phone, and she was in the bathroom of the Corner Tap, taking photos of her outfit to post. And I thought, well,
she looked great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where'd she get that jacket? Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Yes, the jacket that I have, I'll find a photo of it. Actually, Biff Hammer gave it to me. He gave it to me maybe 10 plus years ago. Give a shout out to old Biff Hammer from the Murph and Andy show.
Biff Hammer.
If you're listening. But the Bills won, and so that's always good. Also, the Cyclones had an incredible, I know this isn't a sports show, but that win this weekend was so awesome. And my number one question, Mackenzie, is why do you hate the Cyclones?
I don't hate the Cyclones. You were attacking me on social media over the weekend because I didn't capitalize their name. No,
you didn't.
No,
and it's a capitalized name.
I am so sorry that I typed in the word Cyclones and my iPhone doesn't recognize them as good enough as a team, I guess, to offer up the capital letter. And I just went with it because I was tending to a child and I was on my phone. And I know I shouldn't be doing both. However, I was. And I'm sorry. If I have to apologize, I'll apologize. But yeah, that game was not going well, was it? Because Jeff left in the middle of the game. He's like, I'm going to run to the grocery store. Maybe that will turn this whole thing around. And I don't want to.
And it did.
It did. It turned it around.
Yeah, I got them I got them at plus 4.5. Are you familiar with gambling at all, Mackenzie?
I'm familiar with my husband gambling. Yeah.
Okay. And he's the smart man because he's a Cyclone fan.
Sure.
And you are a prick Hawkeye fan, is that right?
I'm a Walmart Hawkeye fan. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a prick.
A tavern? Yeah. Yes, you are. No. You are so mean. You're so dismissive to the Cyclones.
That is so not true. That is one of the best times I've ever had was we went to the Alamo Bowl, how many years ago, for the Cyclones. And being there with all the Cyclone fans on the, what's the river?
Oh, on the Riverwalk.
On the Riverwalk?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Best time ever. Cyclone fans are some of the best fans ever. So are the Hawkeye fans. Yeah. We all can be a little mean sometimes. And I don't even know I'm a fan of either. I went to UNI. But we're just little sweetheart. We're little sweetie pies.
Panthers.
Yeah.
Was UNI was so when I was 18 at Iowa State in 2001, my buddy Jason Kemker of Kemker True Value, shout out.
Of course, obviously.
He took me to UNI. He's a big like offensive lineman type. And we went to homecoming there.
Yeah.
And it was
Did you
nuts.
two kiss at the Campanile?
No.
Why not?
No, we were on the hill.
Yeah.
And it was like New Orleans, which I came to understand later. And there were all these women like on these dudes' shoulders, and it was just jam-packed.
Oh, yeah.
Really jam-packed with people where it was a dangerous situation. But there's these women on the man's shoulders, and they're just flashing.
Oh, no.
Everybody.
That's not true. All that was done by the time I got there. If you're listening, Dad,
that was
all that
the
was
first
over
time.
and done. Because he does listen, and he thinks you're a hoot.
It was the first time that I ever drank jungle juice. Didn't know it. Didn't know what it was. But I went to this house in Cedar Falls, and just in the bathtub, they had filled it all up with what they call jungle juice. And I did not for 1 minute think somebody might have put a bunch of roofies in here. I just dipped my cup.
Yeah, we were all just slurping that shit out of bathtubs, and now we truly check our label ingredients to make sure there's not red dye 40 in there or too many dyes. And it's like the damage has been done. The damage was done once we decided to fill a cup out of a bathtub and take a drink. It was done.
And I grew up in a creek that was filled with cow manure. So like I don't get sick.
No.
I maybe get a little, like I don't feel well, but I don't get sick. I have a perfect immune system.
Yeah, because thank God for those cows and their manure. I love it. Speaking of sick, I have a child home with me today. Pink eye. The pink eye is going around our house.
No.
I know. It's disgusting.
What do you mean the pink eye is going around your house?
Well, what do you mean? It's going around our house. My 5-year-old had it last week. He actually had it the week before. And then he got it last week in the other eye. And then my daughter got it in one eye. And then she woke up with it in the other eye. So no daycare, because I cannot be the parent that sends their child to daycare. And neither should you, dear listener. Do not send your kid to daycare with pink eye. Gosh, dang it. I'm getting pissed.
Oh, you think this was another irresponsible parent that brought this into your
No,
house?
of course not.
The
Of course
uncleanliness of your rural living.
Of course not. Oh, uncleanliness of my rural living.
I'm just saying.
There's nothing cleaner than fresh air and dirt, like you just said. You don't get sick because of it, Scott.
You're dang right, but that's because it is dirty.
Your
kids
tootin'.
need to suffer now so that they're more successful as adults later.
That's true. No, I'm not blaming this on anyone other than them. It's just cold and flu season and pink eye season, and it's just disgusting. Try putting a kind of painful antibiotic drop into a 2.5-year-old's eye. It's like wrestling a pig.
From being a child, like putting things in my eye. My mom had to give me eye drops. Oh my gosh.
I know.
It was for pink
It's
eye.
sad.
Oh, I remember. And she would have to like hold me down. It was like she was doing medieval torture on me to just put these little drops, and I would. Oh,
it is so
was
sad.
awful.
No, it's so sad. I don't like doing it. And even because I was, now that the kids have it, and we will not spend too much time about talking about pink eye because how disgusting. But I gave myself some, and I'm like, damn, that hurts. That actually is pretty painful. So I can't imagine what those little nuggets
Oh,
feel.
you gave yourself the medicine, not the pink eye.
No, not the pink eye. Yeah.
Did you see, Mackenzie, this story that's just coming out? I know we got a top topics, but I'm really interested because it just broke.
Yes.
This guy who was allegedly stalking Caitlyn Clark.
I did see it. That is insane. A Texas man was arrested in Indianapolis on charges of stalking WNBA player Caitlyn Clark, authorities said on Monday. So this just happened like a few hours ago, I believe. And he's from Texas. His name is Michael Thomas Lewis, 55-year-old from Texas. And he came to Indianapolis. He's been sending her messages since December 16th to January 2nd. Disgusting. Vulgar, sexually charged messages to her Twitter inbox. That's wild. Do you feel like it was only a matter of time before this happened?
I'm surprised. I'm sure that she's had many unfortunate situations like this already pop up that didn't maybe rise to the level of an arrest, but probably could have. And this it's just so disappointing, but not surprising. It certainly is disgusting.
Yeah, it is. I wonder.
Here's
There
our
he
friend.
is.
What's this guy's name?
God, his
Michael
name
Lewis?
is Michael Thomas Lewis. Yeah, a real piece of shit.
Also a terribly unoriginal name, just 3 first names.
Yeah,
Let's
so
not
yeah,
base all of our judgment around that, please.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you, Aiden Wyatt.
Signed, Aiden John Wyatt.
Aiden John, you are truly an angel on earth. No, I really wonder how his messages kind of rose to the top, knowing she probably receives all kinds of nasty stuff, good stuff, bad stuff. I can't imagine what her inbox looks like and how his kind of rose to the top and how she was able to take him seriously. But yeah, she said that she did fear for her safety because he is from Texas and then he did end up in Indianapolis. So, but I just wonder how she found all that out. I'm sure there'll be more about this story, but how freaking scary.
I'm sure Caitlyn has a good security force, and rightfully so. There are a lot of. Can you bring that guy back up yet? Or bring him back up again? Because I have a few things I'd like to say about him. Let's zoom in on this guy. Look at that eyebrow. This guy.
Well, there's
He
two
waxes,
eyebrows,
right?
No,
This
he
guy is a
shaves.
wa-
Look, he took
That's a
one
shave?
razor, went zoop. Yeah, you think this guy would go out of his way to buy wax products? Absolutely not. No, no. Look at that beard. And I know we shouldn't be judging his looks. However,
I'm sorry.
we're
You
gonna.
come at Caitlyn Clark. I'm coming at you. Allegedly.
Allegedly, we know he did it.
I mean this is I want to roast this guy more. What's his name?
Michael Thomas Lewis.
Mike Tom Lou. And I just, all joking aside, I'm glad that Caitlyn, these are harder things to bring forward than I think many of us could imagine, because of a variety of different reasons. I'm glad that Caitlyn felt like she could have an authority she could turn to protect her, because this is going to continue. Celebrities deal with this all the time, especially females.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we can stop it. Let's take this guy's ugly mug off the screen now. But Caitlyn, I hope that you're I don't know. I'm proud of her being an Iowan. Maybe I'm just being a little too sentimental, but I'm just proud of how she handles herself in every situation. People constantly baiting her, and it's an unwinnable situation usually, which people frame her into.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take for granted how hard it is to actually come forward in these types of situations.
I was actually thinking about that. Sorry to cut you off, but the way she interviews, she is obviously an incredible athlete and all of those things. But the way this person, Caitlyn Clark, interviews, I think you could ask her a question, and I think it's kind of crazy how she can come up with an answer, and it's like a great, solid answer that's informed. So I was thinking about her doing this interview with the police and just how she was giving the facts, because she doesn't show much emotion. And so she's obviously was scared in this situation. So I know that's kind of sick of me to say. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall to hear her.
Well, there's you're a true crime lover. You love those interview processes. I bet you get on YouTube and watch a bunch of this stuff.
No, I don't. I'm not sick all the time.
Okay.
I'm not.
How often do you watch something like 48 Hours or Dateline?
No, I do like Dateline, and I do like my true crime podcasts. But I will tell you, I don't like listening to the interviews of the bad guy. And you know what I really freaking hate? Are listening to the 911 calls when you know that the guy making the 911 phone call did it. You know he's lying. Oh my God, that's just it's gross.
I like those. I like being able to try and figure out, without knowing, I like to try and figure out if you can figure out the little body language things or the little turns of phrases that people use to self-protect and self-soothe when they're lying. I love that sort of thing. And we all emit those signals, those unconscious signals. And it's fascinating to get to know them, especially as you're like writing a script or if you are a performer, bringing those types of things into a performance where you are not a good person, like say if you're playing Macbeth, there are certain physical things that you can do that will portray that. And that's what I like about true crime. Although I do not think it's healthy for us to watch very much of that stuff.
No, it's not. I think you have to, if you're going to, for every true crime or negative story, you need to put in a good story, which doesn't bring up our next story. And that is the LA fires, which sucks. The LA fires are still going on. The crews are scrambling to contain the blazes as the Santa Ana winds are set to return. Now, the only thing I knew about these winds, and I hate to admit this, was from the movie The Holiday. It's a Christmas movie, and the Santa Ana winds are happening. Like, that's a big part of the storyline. So I didn't really know what those were. But yeah, they're seasonal. They usually happen in the colder months, and it is not making it easy on these firefighters or for the spread of the fire. So it's kind of crazy. Are you familiar with Los Angeles? Like, just as you hear about these pop up, can you think like, oh, I know exactly where that's at?
Yeah. I've been out there a few times, and being a person who is in a little bit, I don't know. It always, if I say I'm in the film industry, it's a little cheeky, but I certainly have a lot of friends who did go out to Los Angeles. I chose to stay in Iowa, but and yeah, so I've driven around these areas that they are beautifully, not right now, but there's a reason why human beings are pulled towards these places of wilderness beauty. It certainly changes over time as we domesticate the wild, but yeah, it's breathtaking. Looking over the valley, it's just, there's so much beauty in Southern California.
Yeah. No, this is extremely sad. And at least 24 people now they're reporting have died, and dozens more are missing. And there's just no way to be able to tell how much loss of life or until it's all over and it's potentially coming back because of these winds. It's freaking sucks. It's so sad. I know you and I were kind of talking before the show about how we can let our emotions kind of take over in these situations, because yes, right now this is happening in Los Angeles, and we get on our phones and you scroll on any of your social media platforms and it's all you see. But like you were saying, Scott, bad things are happening all the time. And it's very overwhelming to think about.
I have been paralyzed by tragedy that is farther away from me. I mean, I like right now, I've paid attention too much to the civil war in Sudan, the atrocities that have been happening in the Congo. I mean, you go back, I can get into a real sad spot thinking of what the Portuguese did to the people of the Congo. I mean, but even closer to home, like every second of every day, terrible, terrible things are happening. And not just, in 2 time zones away. Right now, as I sit here in Des Moines, there are, I don't need to get too down about it, but there are awful things happening to human beings right now as we're on this podcast, and trying to figure out how to go through life where, since I can't really have much control, the way I have sort of shown my respect is by getting a lot of information about, these 2 warring factions in the Sudan. How can we possibly figure out a way to sort of, can we get humanitarian aid in there? And I'm not a government agent. So I can't, there's not really anything I can do. So the only thing I felt I could do is think about these things and educate myself on them. But that becomes unhelpful and unhealthy at some point. And this is one of those situations where I'm like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to double click on this story.
Yeah.
Because there is terrible, terrible things happening right now, and some of them gotten through. I could keep double clicking. Is that what we should do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. It's a hard question. A lot lately, I've been seeing a lot of people saying like, I miss the 90s. Oh, I miss how I grew up in the 80s. I miss I miss what was going on, and I miss how we all lived life back in the 80s and 90s. And I'm like, well, there were still really bad things happening in the 80s and 90s. However, what's different is we did not have the 24-hour news cycle until like what, 1986 or 87. We did not. It was because of that baby Jessica that fell down the well. That's what kicked up. Do you remember that?
I do. For me, I remember it being Johnny Gosh.
Right.
The paper boy who got taken. That was
Right.
the moment of my childhood that I remember
Right.
having an effect.
But yeah, we just didn't. Yes, things were better back there, but I think it was kind of an ignorance is bliss type of thing because we just didn't have the access that we had back then. And I do think that that was probably a good thing for a lot of people, not knowing all of that for our brains, for sure. The human brain is not designed to take in all of this information all at once. And that kind of leads us into our third story, which is the Supreme Court hearing seems to suggest the justices will uphold the TikTok ban. With TikTok, there is so much information coming at us in such a short period of time. I don't know if that's a good thing. I can learn how to make a recipe. I can learn what the drones are doing. I can learn about aliens, and I can learn about the Civil War in Sudan in a period of 5 minutes. Is that healthy for us?
It's not how we evolved, certainly, but we have been on this track since the moment we invented agriculture. Like that's when civilization was created,
Right?
And so we find things to fill our time, and the thing that agriculture allowed us to do was have downtime, like be able to start thinking longer term, and eventually we get to this place, you can just draw a line. We just keep, technology grows and grows and grows. And then what do? This TikTok, it's incredible. The algorithm is incredible. It gives me everything that I want.
And some things you don't want.
No doubt. But why is it giving it to me? It's because it knows if it gives me that stuff that I think I don't want, it keeps me on the platform. So we have to ask ourselves, is that what we really want? Probably. Your TikTok algorithm is a mirror.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
So I just wonder if, I don't know, where are you? I don't know how to feel about whether or not I'm rooting for the Supreme Court to uphold the ban, or if I'm rooting for the Supreme Court to not uphold the ban. I'm of two minds, and I'm going back and forth. Where are you at, Mackenzie?
No, Scott, I'm in the exact same place. One, I think information has never been shared amongst people like this before, and I think that is a really, really good thing. I have learned so much on my time on TikTok. Maybe they were not very important things. Some of the things were important. I just had never known that before. And I think that's important. But I also think back to what we were talking about, is too much information a good thing? If this ban goes into effect, and I'll kind of get into the details of the ban, because I think that people think that once it's banned, it's off your phone and you can't access it. And that's actually not how it's going to go. But I'm always saying we need to go outside and touch more grass. Yes, that is a phrase that needs to go away, touch grass. However, it's true. There's truth to it. Getting outside and spending, I hate how much time I spend on this stupid thing. I'm
addicted. I'm addicted to my phone.
So many people are addicted. And
what's your guys' screen time?
I'm not even going to look.
I don't even know if I want to look.
What's yours?
But what I've done that's really helped me is I have changed to being on grayscale, because the colors of your phone are so dialed into our psychology that this has been a huge first step for me, is just taking off the color. And then you can just get your, like right here, I just have the shortcut set up so I can turn it back on and off. But
it's like
have
sugar
to be
for
careful.
our brains.
Oh,
yeah, we do.
This
parenting is hard. Parenting is really hard. Limiting screen time is hard. And then say you need to get 5 minutes of something done. So you plop your kid in front of the TV and you say, okay, I'm going to let them watch Cocomelon today. And then the next day you're on TikTok and you read that Cocomelon is the worst thing that you could do for your child. It's like feeding them 15 tablespoons of sugar because of the colors And it's like, so, oh my God. I don't even know where I was going with that point.
It's
I don't think I was going anywhere.
psychologically hacked to get us to watch.
And it works. My kids wake up and they're like, I want JJ, like they're little addicts. And I'm like, shoot.
Folks, we are dumb apes. We may be great apes, but we're dumb.
Gorgeous. We're gorgeous.
We are dumb. And I think maybe that's the first thing. I'm trying to
I don't think that's true, Scott. I don't think so.
What? That we're dumb? Are you kidding me?
I don't think we're dumb.
Okay, it's all relative.
I'm dumb, but I don't think like humanity is dumb.
We ran this poll on Murph and Andy once, and we should do it here on Overthinking at some point. I asked the question, what is your intelligence level? A, below average, B, average, C, above average. 80% of people think above average.
Oh, well, no.
Okay. That's dumb, right?
I think that's overconfident. I mean, that's just their moms told them, you're the smartest boy. And
well, yes, that's probably the thing is we are not special. That's probably the first thing we all have to admit. That's like we're not special. We're lucky. That's what we are. We're very fortunate that just so happened that this sort of DNA got triggered in the way, and here you are. Yeah,
but I don't believe in that. You know, I'm a big fan of Jesus. I think I'm Jesus' special girl.
Oh, okay. I did like to see the Notre Dame player after they had won the semifinal game said, you know, they won that game because they chose Jesus. And they're like, you know, Jesus helped them win that game. And I'm just thinking, man, those fires are going on in California right now. I just have a hard time believing that God cares about
he got distracted.
The outcome of this football game. And if you follow God on Twitter, he does bring up a good point. God does not care about the outcomes of games. He only cares about the spread.
Spoken like a true man. Spoken like a true man. Oh my gosh. So back to this TikTok thing really quick. So what's going to happen? So the ban is set to take place on January 19th. So gosh, that's just next week. And the law would not ban users from using TikTok, nor would it remove it from their phones. However, you can't update the app. Once it's banned, you cannot update it. So eventually it would go defunct. And then, you know, all the users it would just eventually go away. So it's not like it's going to be shut off immediately. However, I know some of the people that I follow on there, they make their living on TikTok. So, but that could be another point that I bring up. I think any influencer should also have a backup plan. Dear God.
Well, it's different though. Like if you get on the Instagram's Reels, that algorithm does not reward the same type of content like TikTok. TikTok, you can be a lot more weird and strange and quirky, but on it, at least in my experience, the stuff that plays on TikTok does not play elsewhere. And so it's kind of like if you're going to a marketplace, a farmer's market is very different than a textiles market. And that's how I feel like these algorithms are set up. And so it's very difficult. I feel bad for the folks who have built these businesses, and it is a lot of work. I have tried and failed. I put out we should talk about New Year's resolutions and where we're at next week.
Okay.
I had a New Year's resolutions because I'm in charge of it. I'm going to post every day on Hoodoo's social media. I made it a week and I dropped, I stopped because it's so much time and work, and the payoff for the amount of work you have is so small, especially when you're getting started. It's so frustrating. So I feel for those. But I'm wondering, Mackenzie, do you think that this ban is going to go into effect?
I don't. I think wasn't one of the sharks from Shark Tank
Kevin
interested?
O'Leary?
Yeah. Someone's going to step in. Someone's going to play the hero. I don't think it's going to go away. I really don't. I just don't see that happening. I really don't. Yeah,
the justices certainly, it seemed from their questioning and the responses that they were certainly leaning towards the ban. But I think I would warn anybody to not look too much into how those question and answer sessions go at the Supreme Court. There's a whole different flow. We don't have to get into all of it, but because this is a free speech case, it goes down the flow chart of the Supreme Court in a different way and has a higher bar to meet. And I'm happy for that. But I think ultimately what you'll see here is the justices are going to find a way to kick the can down the road, or just stall. And even if they do, Trump does not have, once he comes President-elect Trump, will not have to abide by this. If there's a statute of limitations for 5 years. So I imagine that if the Supreme Court does uphold this ban, that President-elect Trump will be that hero who will save it and just ignore the ruling for 5 years. And then we'll see who the next president is and what they want to do. But that is my prediction. But we shall see. By next Monday, we'll have our answer.
It's so crazy. Really quick, I want to touch back on something. When I said backup plan, I don't mean Instagram. I mean having a career that doesn't involve making money on the internet.
Oh.
What do you think about that? A skill set.
Okay. I'm being self-reflective because my career is only successful because of social media. If you
That's
count
why I
YouTube
wanted to bring
as
it
social
up.
media, and I have not, up until I got back with Hoodoo, I haven't had a boss in, 10 years since I left Wells Fargo. And it's awesome. And I have a fantasy camp life, to quote Andy Fales. But I don't know. This is tough.
I know it is tough.
The internet is the marketplace. And so I can't blame anybody for taking the biggest marketplace we've ever created, the internet, which can go to every corner of the world, where you can make anything you want wherever you're at. Whether you're living in Emmitsburg, Iowa, and you're making men's clothing, you can sell it to anybody in Taiwan. Right? That's incredible.
Right, but you're still making the clothes. There are some people that show up. Yes, there are influencers whose job is to add links and to show off their lifestyle. That is all they do.
Yeah. I think to get to it, if your goal in life is to be famous, and I'm turning the mirror on myself, you will find it to be a very hollow existence, and the rug will be pulled out from under you. This is like, if I ever become a parent, one of my goals will be, can I raise a child who doesn't want to be famous? Because fame is it's a poison. It's not good. It's not how human beings are supposed to be.
Believe me when I say I'm not comparing you to these influencers, because you have a skill. You have a skill and you have something more to offer than links and to showing off your home and to going on vacation. But I agree with you. Right now, the kids are coming home from school, and rather than like, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a professor, I want to be an influencer. That makes me sick to my stomach as a parent. It really does. So, because
honestly, the best way to be an influencer is to be a firefighter, is to to create things. That's the influence ultimate. And of course, again, look at me, look at the path I have chosen. And I'm trying to alter that path as I learn more and more about myself and live congruently. But there is an appeal because we want to be liked and loved by our tribe.
That is true.
It's so much easier to be liked and loved by your tribe when your tribe is 12 to 15 people on the African savannah. When your tribe is 8 billion people in a social media network, that is impossible. You cannot conquer that. No. And so it's this hollow existence that really provides a way for you to find unhappiness quickly. Now, there are positives to it. Don't get me wrong. We are so depressing this episode.
We are so
I know.
depressing.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but you're freaking bumming me out.
I'm hopefully trying to provide hope that if we just realign our purposes, we'll probably be happier.
Do you want more bad news then?
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Meta says it will end its fact-checking program on social media posts.
Oh, I don't think this is I don't think this is bad news. I think this is regular. I think this doesn't change much.
No. Meta said on Tuesday that it was ending its long-standing fact-checking program, a policy instituted to curtail the spread and misinformation across social media apps. So I think it's just kind of taking the Twitter/X route of letting people say whatever they're going to say without the immediate fact-checking. And then what? So was Meta deleting those? It was just filtering it and making sure that okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And, it's this, I mean, how much was that helping? I don't think at all.
No, I don't
because
think it
who
was.
trusts Meta? Like if you believe something and, free speech absolutism, we can get into that debate someday, but if we are looking towards social media to be our moral compass, to be our ethical compass, to be the arbitrator of right and wrong, I think we've already lost the thread.
I know, Scott, you're so correct. I know.
Here's the happiness. I said that, get the 12 to 15 people that you love, that love you. Focus your time on those folks. And that's, I think, probably more of the path of happiness.
I agree.
That we should get into. And Facebook, listen, it has given me this wonderful house. Like without Facebook, I don't have somebody that I don't know make a bobblehead of me. Okay? There are pros and cons to all of this. It's all on a spectrum. But every time you get off of your phone, if you feel a little worse about yourself, you probably need to get off of it, right? And I'm talking to myself. I'm not trying to lecture. I'm trying to talk to myself because I'm addicted to this thing. I am addicted.
So, we all are. I mean, we all are. It's sick. I do want to talk about a glow up really quick. I want to talk about the Zuckerberg glow up and what the hell is going on here. What's going on here? Do you know there's rumors that facial hair is fake?
Oh, he had it implanted?
Yeah, or it's like glued on. It's just straight up fake. Do you think?
No, I don't.
What's the most appalling? What sticks out to you the most between these two photos?
His tan,
his glow bro.
He's got that alabaster glow going on the left hand of the screen. And then he's got this nice tan. I also feel like there's a bit of a filter on the good-looking one. This one doesn't.
He's definitely using the Paris filter by Instagram, which, yeah, I'm a big
look
fan
at that
of
hair.
The Paris filter. I know.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about going to Turkey and getting
We've
a hair
talked about
transplant.
this multiple times. You're not. You're absolutely not. No, you're not. You're not.
I don't know. I
you
feel
know that.
like
Wait,
I would
you have to
look
stay
better.
awake. You have to stay awake during the hair transplant procedure. Did you know that? Does that change your mind at all?
No, I'll just drink some Turkish coffee because I've never had a cup of coffee before.
You would rather you want the jitters when you're getting your scalp ripped off and placed to the front of your head. That's what you want is the jitters.
When I know that I'm on Overthinking in a year after that and I have a full head of hair, I mean, I think I'm going to look way better.
You're doing it because of Overthinking? You're doing it because of the new camera time? Are you serious?
No, mostly
Scott?
it's because
I want to know. No.
I want to have more hair. I have done this to myself. This is not genetic. This is from stress. This is from worry. This is from overthinking. Look at my brother's hair. My brother has incredible hair.
They say it's your mom's father.
And he had jet black hair to the day he died. And that man was an alcoholic. He smoked like a chimney. That man was very unhealthy. And his hair was incredible.
That's an old wives' tale. So you can't tell me that's not genetic. You can't tell me it's purely stress. Have you gone to a doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Have you gone to a doctor?
I haven't had the doctor talk to me about the hair.
Yeah,
but
I'm telling you.
I've been on Propecia and Rogaine over the last, since I got divorced, I was like, oh, shit. We got to work on this. And it really has helped. I mean, if you look at just my photos from when Kinnick, the documentary, came out, my hair was worse. But a lot of it is back here has gotten way better, which I can't show you.
That's where they take it from. They take it from the back and put it in the front.
Well, yes, my crown is what I was talking about. That has come back nicely. This hair on the side, yes, they would take that. And I got a lot of this. My beard hair actually goes into my around. So I
Do you have a hairy
plenty
chest?
of hair.
Do you have a hairy chest?
Yeah, I got a
You
good.
do?
I got a good man's chest. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
right here. But I wouldn't want that hair on top.
No,
It will
of
look like I
course
just
not.
put like.
Of course not.
But I think. But see, here's the thing. Because I have stressed myself out unnecessarily. Let's say it. Okay. Because as a great philosopher, let's say it once a show, the great philosopher Seneca Wallace said, we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. This is the price I had to pay. Also, stomach aches. Okay?
Your
It's
tummy
okay.
hurts. My
Yeah.
mom, she loved your quote from the last episode. And when I tell you, my parents listen, they listen, and they like you. They like you.
Okay, thank you.
And your mother likes Kate. So I'll find my fan.
Kate
I'll find
is-
my fan.
You
No,
have
that's not-
Rachel.
I have Rachel. And I'm so glad to have Rachel. I'm going to give her a hair tutorial on how to curl her hair with a flat iron. Has she told you that yet?
Oh no, I did not.
I'm
You guys
going
are
to.
talking to each other.
Of course. Scott, when I tell you I've
This
known
is
Rachel for
horrible.
longer than you have, I have.
This is
Oh my God,
horrible.
we're getting distracted. And there are a lot of ways to get distracted at work, like we're doing right now. Facebook, Instagram, talking about girlfriends. But what about, have you ever gotten distracted at work by reading a book at work?
No.
You haven't? Well,
No.
AJ Brown was caught by the cameras reading a book during his recent game. Could we tell what book he was reading?
I couldn't at the time. At first, I was like,
it's that book on the screen right there.
Inner Excellence.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't we crop out this ad? That makes
Nope.
sense.
That's part of it.
Aiden, I love you.
Aiden's the best.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't do this, but it did make me think, okay, what would cause the most uproar? What would be the most rude thing you could read while at work? Which brings us to our poll here on Twitter. What is the most rude thing to read at work? Is it a book, your phone, a newspaper, or a magazine? Now, just imagine AJ Brown yesterday. He's not reading a book, but he has his phone out.
Rude.
The world would, I won't use that analogy. The world would be very upset at him. It would be unacceptable.
What about a Playboy magazine? What about a Playboy magazine, Scott?
That's the thing. Imagine, I would love to see him. I would love if in the divisional round, AJ Brown opens up a newspaper. Like,
Yeah.
holding a newspaper in public is one of those accessories that I miss so much. You can hide yourself. It's also just big. You're like,
Especially if it's like an old newspaper that has some sort of headline. Yeah, I don't know. I could go a lot of ways with that one.
but and Playboy magazine, right? They don't have nudity in there anymore, right? They stopped that a couple years back.
What?
No more nudity. Yeah,
What?
Playboy magazine doesn't have any boobies in it anymore.
Well, I guess I'll take my application back. Just kidding. Oh my God.
I think Hustler
Disgusting.
still shows it all, and Playboy only showed the tatas, not the wahoo, right? Yeah, I think that's right. They had good articles.
I'm
too.
going to tell you, why do you? No, I'm not going to
What?
ask. I just,
No?
why would you?
Come on,
why would
this
you want-
show has already been so sad. We're gonna have to overthink this because we have been too sad today.
Yeah, actually, no,
Ask
we
me
have
a
been.
question about a porno magazine because I think while your parents are listening, this is how we need to lighthearten this up.
Why would you want to see spread eagle on the centerfold? Like, why would you? What would you want to see the hoo ha? Would you want to see the hoo ha?
Yeah.
Why? Have you seen one of those things?
Oh yeah, intimately.
And
They're all
you-
different.
and
They're
you-
all special.
And you want to
You know,
see one in
human
print?
beings aren't special, but every wahoo is very special,
Yeah,
unique,
absolutely. Of course.
and I think they
Not,
should be appreciated.
Well, of course I do too. I mean, think of what they're capable of. However, not cute to look at. Not cute to look at.
Now, I've never seen a baby come out of one, so that may change the way that I would feel. But at this point, if it's in a welcoming manner, Spread eagle.
Well, there's nothing more welcoming than a baby coming into this world. So,
Agree to disagree.
oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I guess that is true. Now, okay, wait, time out. I am just thinking about something that I got on my phone yesterday morning. First thing, because that's really, really healthy to do is to fire up that freaking phone. And I got on Instagram and I was greeted with a baby crowning. But in the past, there would have been a like warning, sensitive content. Is that going away with the Meta deal or no?
I think this tells us a lot about you.
It's called like
You-
something Rose photography, and it is she photographs births. And yeah, there was a time when I wanted to see. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. You wanted to gather up all the information so you have all the information. It makes you feel better. Before I was going to have a baby, I wanted to know everything that could go right, everything that could go wrong, what it looked like for what I would be prepared for. Now, I had 3 C-sections, so I don't have to worry about any of that. How
Were you happy about that? Were you happy about the C-section
No.
instead of having to push it through the birth canal? And by it, I mean the human baby.
My 3 sweet children. I think that there's
This is my
something
sweet
that
child right here.
Oh, yes. I think there's something special about giving birth. No, there's so many wonderful things about giving birth and a connection and having the baby, giving birth to a baby. So part of me feels like I hit a cheat code 3 times and I took the easy way out. However, knowing how recovery was, it was not easy at all. But yeah, I wish I would have been able to give birth to one of my children.
So you're watching, this is like being on the plane and watching plane crash videos,
No, it's not.
right? Like you're watching how this big watermelon comes out of this small avocado hole.
It's beautiful to know that the female body can do that. Your cervix, something that is like teeny tiny, opens up to 10 centimeters and allows a baby to pass through it.
It's awesome.
It's incredible.
It's one of the things that I love about like our humanity, because as we started to evolve and walk upright, the pelvis had to change shape. And so it made it harder for women to be able to give birth without dying. And the only way for it to become safer was for us to work together. And then you got this wonderful thing where you have these highly intelligent animals that normally you wouldn't think that you would need. Why would you ever have a female around that's in menopause, right? They can't give birth anymore. But it's because the wisdom of the female is so valuable that it is important to keep those women around so that they can continue passing on all this information. That is so incredible to me, and it warms my heart to know that hundreds of thousands of years ago we were doing this together.
Yeah.
And that's Scott School.
And thank you, Scott. do 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 do. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Who is that going? Yeah. I've always wondered.
that is a friend of mine, Miss Christine. Their band is created that song. And they did a wonderful, wonderful job. I gave them a little, I recorded it into my phone. And then unlike our theme song, I had somebody else record it. Which, speaking of which, if you like our theme song, feel free, and you're a musician, you can record it. Email me, I'll send you the lyrics.
Absolutely. Should we take a look at what our listeners have been overthinking, a little overthinking in the wild, and just discuss? I know we had
Hell
a couple
yes.
submissions. Yeah. And thank you again
Murph and
for
Andy,
those who
coming up
submitted.
10 minutes from
10
now.
minutes. Oh my gosh.
Right here
All
on
right.
Iowa Everywhere.
All right, let's cue these up. I know the first one is, I've been overthinking. Where am I going to get recipes and learn how to properly clean my house without TikTok?
I know this answer.
Where?
ChatGPT. That
Now,
thing is incredible. It gives the best recipes, it gives you the most basic recipes. And you can just take a picture of your phone, or if you have any questions at all, like I don't have cilantro, what can I switch in there? And it'll give it to you, boom, like that. And you don't have to click through one damn ad.
Not one damn
Not one
ad.
damn ad.
And you don't have to feel bad about yourself because there's no like hot, sexy person making the meal, because that's, I'm always like, I like that recipe, but she's way hotter than me and I'm never going to be as pretty as her. And then I do feel bad.
Mackenzie, don't be mean to yourself.
Okay. and then clean. Same thing. Oh,
That's all right. It's
He's
just a guard
upset.
dog.
I
It was
agree.
the mailman.
Although, do you want me to sound like a grandma right now, Scott?
What's that?
I'm going to sound like a grandma right now.
Please do.
Well, I saw on the internet the other day that the increased usage of ChatGPT is helping to warm the earth. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. The thing is AI takes a lot of power. Takes a lot of power. And I'm gonna yell at my dog for just 1 second.
It's okay.
Atticus!
Let's pop over
Thank
to
you.
the next Overthinking in the Wild. We're just gonna we no more sadness.
We're back.
I can't. I've been overthinking. Oh, I don't know. Drinking with my wisdom teeth just taken out. Now, are they overthinking about drinking after they get their wisdom teeth taken out, or did they answer my question box after they had been drinking when they just had their wisdom teeth taken out? I would venture to guess it's the second.
I had 6 wisdom teeth removed.
Doesn't
And-
the average person only have 4? Is that
Yeah.
extra?
Yeah. Yeah, I have more wisdom. I had more
You
wisdom.
did. That makes so much sense.
And my mom got dry sockets when she had hers removed. And because my dad wasn't the most attentive husband, let's just say. He preferred to be out on the golf course or maybe at the bar. And so my mom, of course, having to run the entire house and take care of kids while she had just had this surgery, led her to have dry sockets. This would be mad. I'm still mad at my dad for he's been dead, but I can't take it up with him. But we had it out when we were kids, when I was a kid, so it's fine. But my mom was so worried about us getting dry sockets, I was extra concerned.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't do any of this stuff because what my mom told me about dry sockets, worse than giving birth. And she did push 2 babies outside of her cervix. So when a woman tells you that, you listen.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a higher pain tolerance than you.
Agreed.
Weak men. You weak little babies. Yeah. Yeah. So would you recommend drinking with the wisdom teeth being taken
Hell
out?
no.
No, absolutely not. Because you dehydrate the moment you take a drink. And oh my God.
And
no.
and drinking is, if we're talking about alcohol drink, that's just poison. There's a reason they call it intoxication. You're literally poisoning yourself.
It is
And there's a
poison.
time and a place where that's fun. And with your wisdom teeth just being cut out of your jaw,
Oh
not
my
the
God.
time.
No, please stop drinking with the wisdom. That's seriously
Now,
giving me a stomach ache.
Maybe smoking some weed. That, if you were in a state where it's legal, I could recommend.
How's dry January going?
Isn't that Cottonmouth?
You're
Cotton
right.
mouth.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Yeah, you drink water, though. Oh, you're right, Aiden. See, Aiden?
I think we should stay off the drugs and the alcohol after we've had a major mouth surgery. That's what I think.
You're right. You're right. Dry January is going well for me.
Good.
It's I don't really care about alcohol that much, so I have drank. At the Bills game, I'm drinking a Labatt Blue, because they win in
blah.
Rome.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's the marijuana allegedly. Of course, we're in Iowa, and I'm just talking about. I drive to Missouri to cross the border, and I only consume
Of course.
cannabis in Missouri.
Of course.
Allegedly.
Obviously. Allegedly.
But yeah, my
and obviously.
mind is clear, memory's better. I think I might have been using it too much. And people say,
Yeah.
Scott, you reveal way too much on this show. Guilty.
No.
Guilty.
It's overthinking and oversharing. I think,
Hell yeah.
maybe, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I hope you're okay with it.
Oh, we're okay with it. Scott, I want to know how you feel about hugs. Aiden, I want to know how you feel about hugs as well.
Not a
I love
hugger.
hugs. You're not a hugger, Aiden?
No.
Aiden, you're not?
No.
I feel like I might have laid a big fat hug on you the other night. I'm sorry. Did you hate
I'm not
it?
offended if someone hugs me. If that makes you feel better.
Oh, I love hugs. I love to be hugged. I love to give hugs. My husband is an excellent hugger. I think I am raising 3 excellent huggers, and I just love hugs. And the good thing about that is research says hugging boosts oxytocin, which helps relieve stress, pain, and inflammation. So, Aiden, you better
Well,
start
after
hugging.
this
Hurting a
show,
lot over here.
yeah,
Yeah.
after this show and how depressive we went with it,
I
we all
know.
need a hug afterwards. But I
I
love
know.
hugging. There's a technique to the hug. Please, for the love of Pete, stop with the pat on the back. This Not good. It's not, it doesn't feel good for anybody. It's a very, I'm more dominant than you, or I'm uncomfortable with you. Stop it. Don't do it. Just give if you're going to give a hug, you should only be giving a hug to a person that you can communicate, I really appreciate this hug. And the way you do that is tight, firm embrace.
I agree. But I do kind of give like a little rub. Like if I like you, I do. Because I've got big banana
Mackenzie,
hands. Rub it.
What? Banana hands?
Look at these things. I can
What
palm
are-
I can palm a men's basketball.
Oh, you're saying a banana hand is a big hand?
Yeah. It's from
You
the
have
movie
long
Shallow Hal.
fingers. Your
Yeah.
palm seems to be regularly shaped, but your
Yeah.
fingers are very long.
Yeah, you got to watch out. These things make things look small, but you got to watch out.
Jeez, Mackenzie.
What? Like my cup? Everyone thinks that this is a really tiny cup because of my big hands, but it's actually a gigantic cup.
You know what they say about hands, and I'm not going to make the glove joke, but on men, it seems that it corresponds. With women, what does it correspond with? And I bring this up because if you know about hyenas, hyena women,
yeah.
they just
Huge
have
fan of
a
hyenas.
huge, like, you can't tell a hyena male or female apart because the female has this really long, extended clitoris. Like, it's just
Jesus
huge.
Christ. Oh my
It's
God.
huge.
4 hugs a day. You need 4 hugs a day for basic survival. You need 8 hugs a day for maintenance of emotional balance. And you need 12 hugs a day for growth and well being.
Do we have a
12
photo
hugs and a long
of a hyena?
clitoris.
Do we? Can we bring? Oh, we don't have enough time. Next time we
No.
will examine. It's incredible. The hyena woman. She
It's not a
pushes
woman, it's
out-
a
she
female.
pees, she gives birth out of it, and it gives her all the control. The female hyena is in control.
You do
And
not give
they
birth
have
out of
to
your
give-
clitoris. You do not
The
give birth out of your...
hyena does.
No.
Yes.
No.
Next
It's-
week on Overthinking, we're going to go through the anatomy of the hyena. And it
Don't-
is a matriarchal society that is the most cruel you can imagine.
So they had it right on The Lion King then. Because those guys were bad.
The spotted hyena is an incredible beast. It's the only animal that was designed or evolved that it can crush and pulverize bone. It's been known to crush a giraffe femur. A giraffe femur. Are you kidding me?
That's absolutely
It eats it
insane.
all.
Oh my
Oh, I
God, you
guess,
guys.
is that our show already?
Yeah, it was so depressing. We promise if you come back and if you subscribe to Iowa Everywhere YouTube channel or listen, we will be so much more positive next week. I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
beg.
We're just going to be honest with you, but hopefully more positive. Oh my gosh, that really got off to a bad start.
But we're okay now. And for now, it's Murph and Andy. They're gonna be so positive. You guys, thank you. We love you. We
Yes,
really
I hope
do.
all your favorite bands stay together.
I still
Do you
don't
mind
get
if we
that
just
joke.
keep chatting through this, Aiden? I like this little chat here
Oh my gosh.
until you cut us off. But Mackenzie, that was good. And what is this? Crickets? Or? That's the theme of the show. That's it. Here we are. We
That's
play
too
ourselves
bad.
out.
How
I love you
sad.
guys.
We love
Okay,
you.
I got to go do work.
Okay.
I love you all. Thank you for listening.
Bye.